Hello everyone, welcome back to our Let's Talk Design session. I welcome you all once again, and here I am to welcome our special guest and talk to them about impact of using stone for residential spaces. I hope again you all are keeping safe and doing well. And without wasting your time, I'm soon gonna invite our guest here and let's talk what she has to offer on residential spaces. I'm soon gonna invite her. And guys, we'll be taking all the questions at the end of the session. Keep your questions ready. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great session today. It's a little different from what we have usually done. We have usually talked about stones in the interior spaces, but this time we are going to talk about a special space which is like a luxury residential space, how to use stones there. Please allow me a little time for our special guests to join. I'm soon gonna invite them. They're just gonna be here. Thank you for joining us every time on our session and hearing whatever. All of these tips are very helpful to you. Every time we have such nice inputs from all of them. Hi Aarushi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah.
Great.
Complete.
First of all, I welcome you to our Let's Talk Design
Thank you.
small, quick chit chat, informal session. And before we start, I'm just going to introduce you to our audience like a quick intro. So, Arushi has done her schooling from Maharani Devi School and further got her professional design degree of architecture from Balwant School of Architecture based out in Mumbai. Now, she has a studio in Mumbai called Studio Aarushi Bafna. Being a research enthusiast, her work weaves interiors and exterior spaces from large architectural ideas into the smallest of furniture details. Wow. She also believes that just by generating more employment in the craft sector, we can uplift the living condition of thousands of women in the country. That's so insightful. I hope I haven't left out anything.
Thank you so much. That was perfect.
Great. So let's begin. So to start with, why don't we have your expert opinion on if you could share some few reasons why only natural stone is a good choice for designing residential spaces?
Sure. So, I will begin with how the natural stone is made. It's actually made over millions and millions of years through a lot of environmental conditions. So, nonetheless, it's the strongest and the most durable material. Now, I don't think a lot of clients can build houses again and again. Some people build
Correct.
it once in their lifetimes or twice in their lifetimes. So why not go for something so timeless and durable compared to the newer age materials which you will have to eventually change in a few years of time? So I guess that should answer it, right?
Correct. I think it makes a lot of sense, and you rightly said a lot of clients don't build their homes again and
Yeah.
again. And for a lot of them, it's a one-time investment also. So, very rightly said. Do you also think that they are not a conventional choice when it comes to interiors, when given their traditional use in the architecture? Like, if you can throw some examples with it.
Not at all. I think it's the reverse. I think it's one of the best materials to use in interiors till the level that you can also use it in making furniture as well as lamps, other accessories in your homes, tablewares, etc. I think it's such a sturdy and durable material, and of course, it adds that extra luxurious value to itself compared
Right,
to other.
right.
So yeah, we've been doing a lot of design research in my studio with stone casted into like bathtubs or casted into like lamps or wall murals these days.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very good idea.
Great. Like I mentioned in your intro, you do large architectural spaces with smallest of furniture. How often do you use stone in your projects as a part of residential space?
I think I use it very often, more than I should be using it actually.
Mhm.
Uh,
And how often do you utilize them as a part of furniture pieces? Because it's very trendy these days.
I do. So we do most of our tabletops, most of our side
Mhm.
console tops. In we try to do it in stone, as well as now we've
Okay,
started doing like study tabletops as well, which is like an experiment that we are running through. Uh,
okay, okay.
I think I use it more than, yeah, more than my clients want me to. But
Great. Do you also experiment using stone with other materials?
I do. So that's the thing. You can't just use stone as a piece of furniture, but the amalgamation of stone with other
Yeah,
materials, for example, teak wood or metal, I think that's
yeah.
a very good solution to any of the long-lasting furniture pieces that you want to keep in your living space.
So you use teak wood a lot then?
A lot, a lot. I use
Yeah.
teak wood as well as I use metal a lot actually. I have
With
amalgamated
stone?
stone, yeah, as in inlay.
Okay.
And I think it works perfectly. It acts that chic shine to the already luxurious looking material.
Right, right. No, I think the inlay work, once you just mentioned, it makes a lot of sense why take wood with
Like,
stone, because I totally understand how it accentuates an entire piece.
correct.
So, yeah, totally on point. Which space within a home, whether it's a living room, a bedroom, or a bathroom, would you introduce a stone element and why?
I use it in all three. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, having said that, it's very necessary to make sure the volume that you're using it in is correct for that space.
Right,
So, for example,
right.
when in a living room, it's on a larger scale. It's normally, I
Mm-hmm.
love to do book matched marbles on the wall and stuff like that. Whereas on a
Mm-hmm.
bathroom, it's a more subtler scale. In place of tiles, we lay like subtle gray marbles, less grains, not
Okay, okay,
too intense. In a bedroom, the
okay.
volume is a little much lesser. It's more into detailings like side tabletops or like lampshades or like a
Right,
wall mural, and not
right.
just clad in the bedroom. I think that might just become a little too heavy. So I think the volume, but yes, of course, we do use it in all the spaces of the home.
All the three of them.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you differentiate, using stone as a part of interior residential space and an exterior residential space? I'm sure the variety of stone also differs from what you put them in interiors and what you apply them on a residential facade, maybe.
It does. It does. It's completely different. So for interiors, I would rather go for something more plush and more glossy. Whereas exterior, I
Yeah,
go my traditional Jaisalmer or Kota
yeah,
or like one of those granites.
absolutely, yeah.
Will bring out the character with the sunlight. I wouldn't want to go too glossy on the outside because the sun is gonna reflect. Whereas it's completely opposite when you come inside the home.
And how difficult does it get for you to even keep a check on the climate control with the stone? Do you often do that? Like, do you check the stone according to the climate conditions?
Yes, we do. There are certain stones with the property that could withstand the time and their color won't wear off. And some of them,
Okay,
their colors do wear off over time in harsh heat.
right,
So that
right.
is something that we really should consider while
So
using.
how do you make sure, like, there are different varieties of stone that you see probably in the northern region and absolutely different variety of stones that you see in the southern region. I'm sure you do projects pan India, right? So do you pick up these stones basis on the location or do you try and locally source them?
Yeah, so I try and locally source them. I do it pan
Okay.
India. I had my studio in Jaipur as well. I've done a lot of projects in
Mhm.
Jaipur, which is a completely different climatic condition than Bombay, where I'm working at.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely different.
it's always better to choose stone from the local uh,
Right,
climate and the stones that are made there because they are more wary to the weather there than
correct.
side.
Yeah, yeah. Could you also let us know about some unique details and techniques of using natural stones in an interior designing, especially of a home that has been little challenging for you, or you feel it is like a wow factor that you've done in your project?
Okay. I think challenge is always there. As soon as you start cladding a stone, you have to take care of a lot of grooves. You have to design it very properly,
Yeah.
so you take care of the grooves as well as the design on the stone. But there are some fun things that we've actually done back in Jaipur. What we
Okay.
did, we inlaid a quote by Mahatma Gandhi
Mm-hmm.
with Basmara marble inside a Jaisalmer stone. So that actually,
Also, so many stones did you use?
yeah, we actually CNC cut each and every letter and made a sentence out of it, and
Wow.
with Baswara, and it was inlaid in Jaisalmer. So what happened? The color contrast between Baswara and Jaisalmer is a lot. So it gave that
Right.
color contrast that was required to highlight that code in that space, and
Right.
I think it added a lot of design value, and nothing else was required on that wall after that. I think that
And this was an interior wall and
it was
like a
interior.
living room.
It was an interior wall. It was a
Wow.
kids area actually,
Oh,
because it was more
interesting.
inspirational. It had to be more inspirational. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And how long did it take for you to plan like different kind of stones and then do inlay on them?
I think design work would have taken like a week to get the CNC drawing correct and to make
Okay.
sure that the thickness of both the stones fit into each other and stuff like that. Once the design detailing was done on papers, I think it was an easy job to like get it
Okay.
done.
Okay. And like you mentioned, this was a very critical design that you did and was quite
But
challenging. And I think it's the first time I have heard this, so it was very new for me too. What
actually, I
are
wanted
your
to
thoughts?
share a picture of that here,
Please,
but
that would be so nice
I don't think
for
it's allowed.
everyone to see. You can probably show it just like this.
Oh, I can't show it like that. I mean, how do I do that? That's okay. Let's continue.
Cool. So I wanted to know actually, what are your thoughts on the cost effectiveness of stone in comparison to others which are commonly used? Because I believe you've used quite a variety of stone in just one project, like you were mentioning.
Correct. So actually, this is a very interesting sort of question. I must tell you. I think a lot of clients vary and do not want to use stone because of it costs higher than the other materials.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
have a simple analogy to give them is that uh, when I buy clothes or when I buy anything personal,
Mhm.
I end up using like better brands for better quality.
Yeah,
It's the same thing when you use a stone. If you're using a stone, it's a lifetime material. Today you want to use
agree.
it,
Absolutely. Yeah,
one pair off in 5-10 years. So
yeah.
you will have to redo. So it's I at the end of the day I leave it on them. But I think this analogy has worked for me pretty well till now. So yeah.
Great. No, I think it's very rightly said. And the way you explained, also, I feel a lot of people who are listening to us would connect dots. Very nicely said. Could you also like share one use of natural stone for a semi-open space which is inside the home? Because these days, quite a lot of people do that. So if you could elaborate that with an example.
Yeah. So in a bungalow in Jaipur, we had made like a semi-open play area for the child because the parents
Mm-hmm.
didn't want the child to play in the AC all the time. Uh, so we had laid the stone on the wall there, and I think it perfectly worked so well with all the greens that were put there. I think
Right.
semi-open
Yeah.
areas are the best place to put stone because they are not very close to the environmental harsh sun, but also
Hmm.
not far from the warmth of the environment outside and the greens. So, and I am waiting to do, I have on my bucket list to do a fluted bathtub made out of stone
Wow.
on a semi-open area. So yeah, I'm waiting to do that to convince some client.
Wow. How long do you take to finalize a stone for a particular area?
I think it takes a long time.
How
I
many visits? How many
so
visits does it
sometimes
take?
and sometimes we just decide on studio what we want because now we've used so many stones. Like I have my own personal space for say Grey William or
Okay.
Jaisalmer. Uh,
Mhm.
but other than that, if clients want to really go and see, then it takes at least 5 to 6 visits to actually see different
Okay.
areas, different spaces, different shops,
Right.
and different lots of each marble.
And how long does it take to convince a client to use this particular stone which you like?
Uh, yeah, 5 to 6 visits again. I mean, the same
Same,
time. I
same
already
time.
take my
Yeah.
storyboard with me. Okay, this is what
No.
I like, Slyly, I'll keep putting into sentences. This is what I like.
I'm going to go a little off the board since you mentioned a couple of new things and some new variety of stones. What would be one go-to stone that you would want to use in every of your project? So if
I
someone who really follows your page, follows the kind of projects you use, so might be a question for them, like your go-to stone.
So my go-to stone is anything within the realms of grays or whites. I am quite a monotone person,
Right.
so I keep going to like either Satvario, Baswara, or I keep going to on the other side Grey William or Grey.
Basically the gray tones.
Yeah, grays or whites. I think I'm a very monotone person. But
I think grays are very in these days.
yeah, having said that, I think for children, I also like to use like Jaisalmer. I think that brings a very good yellow color or like a pink quartzite.
It has that good brightness also
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I think grays, I totally buy that. It's one
yeah.
of my favorite too these days. What point should one communicate with the homeowners regarding the maintenance of natural stone elements, especially in an interior space?
Um, I think there are 2, 3 things that I keep telling my clients. One, of course, when we choose a stone, it has to be space friendly. If it's outside, we
Okay.
cannot choose a stone that is for inside for outside because the color is
Yeah,
going to vary. Two,
correct.
while laying, I think the joints have to be taken care of. Sometimes I have
Okay.
often seen the stone, if not stuck properly with the chemical on the back and with the sealer on the front, it comes off or it wears off.
Okay.
Uh, so I think that is important. And third, of course, keep getting it buffed uh, from time to time. If
Do
because
you
I think
think that the glare fades off? The glare fades off?
the
Is that the reason?
yeah. With the kind of mopping that we do in Indian households, I
Yeah,
think it's very difficult to maintain the polish of the stone. So you can
right.
get it done time to time. I think it shouldn't be that big of a problem.
Okay, okay. Lastly, okay, how does stone respond and accentuate other design materials, especially with the mood board?
I think stone comes from a very cold palette, and
Yeah,
any material that comes from a warm palette, they make a perfect balance for a design board. Say I have to
very
do a lot
nicely said.
of
Yeah.
greens or outdoor greens, perfectly goes with stone. I have to do some nice soft fabrics or like these suede fabrics on my bed back. Some
Mhm.
accents of stone
Wow.
detail would play perfectly. So I think it is a very essential material, bringing that cold side in your palette. If you keep too many warm materials together, uh, I don't think the space will come out as well as when you bring a
Okay,
balance with both. So I think
okay.
it's a very essential element.
We have a question right
Yeah,
on time when we are wrapping. What's your preference between marble or granite?
I think I am a marble person, a total marble person.
A lot of people are. So
Yeah,
am I. I'm also a marble
I love the
person.
longer grains than shorter dots in the granite, just visually.
Okay. Okay, okay. I hope that answers your question. Guys, if you have any more questions, you could please drop in the comment section. Otherwise, Arushi, it was a lovely, quick, informal session to have with you.
It
You've
was love.
given us some tremendous, fabulous tips and certain ideas. I myself enjoyed few new ideas that were brought by you on the table today. So very nice to have that conversation with you. Guys, we'll be sharing this video on our page. So in case you have any more further questions, you could please drop them under the comment section or reach out to Arishi directly for that reason. She's always
Thank
here to answer all your queries. But thanks a lot. It was lovely having you
you.
on board.
It was lovely to come on board and like share my ideas so openly. I think
Yes.
an installation is a great idea.
Great.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Thank
you. Bye.